My first time I ever saw a bear in the wild, I remember it very vividly. I was very young. It was in Cades Cove inside of Great Smoky Mountains National Park. If you don't know, Great Smoky Mountains National Park has about 1,900 bears. It's one of the most densely populated areas in the United States for black bears. And if you do the math, it's over like 2 bears per square mile. So if you're gonna spend some time in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, chances are you're probably gonna see a black bear. And actually, there's been bears that have been documented at over 600 pounds inside the park. Okay, so on to the story. I was with my dad. Not sure if my brother was there or not, but I know it was me and my dad. He was driving us around the Cades Cove loop. It was in like 98. I was born in 1987, so I guess I would have been 11 at the time. I think we did the trip in like a late 80s model Chevrolet station wagon. It was getting dark, and we like took one of the cut through. If you look at the map of Cades Cove, there's like these little pass-throughs where you can kind of cut the loop shorter. And we were going down one of those roads, and I just remember there was a tree, and there was like a mama bear and at least 2 cubs. They weren't like tiny, but they weren't juveniles either. So they were like mid-sized cubs, and they were just kind of like, it just felt like they were playing with each other. It just felt like they were, I don't know. That's how I remember it. It may not have even happened like this. It's funny how something that happens in such a long time ago, you know, how you remember it, especially being like a kid, but that definitely stands out to me. That was like my first experience with wild bears. It probably like led to me wanting to have more encounters like this throughout my life. So my second encounter with a bear also happened in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I had just hiked up to the top of Mount LeConte from the Rainbow Falls trailhead, and I was coming back down. It was getting dark and it was pouring rain. This bear just like sprinted across the trail right in front of me. I saw him for like maybe 1 second. I mean, he was massive too. I'd never seen something so big move so quickly. He was in a hurry to get somewhere. I don't think it's thought to be an aggressive behavior when they do that. I think he was on a mission. I don't know, maybe he smelled me and he just wanted to get away from me. I don't know. So just quick side note, in 2015, I thru-hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. For those that don't know, the Appalachian Trail goes from Georgia to Maine. It's about 2,200 miles long, and it took me just under 6 months to do it. So the next several stories for this video are from when I was thru-hiking that trail. This first one from the Appalachian Trail was actually, I never actually saw it, but it was a night encounter. It was around, I got my notes here, at the Jenkins shelter at around mile 577. Basically, I was just sleeping in my tent and I woke up to something like walking around my tent in the campsite, and where I had hung my food bag from a tree, I could hear it like trying to get my food. That was a scary night for me, for sure. I kind of just stayed in my tent, just kind of talked calmly, and everything was fine. It all worked out. So number 4, this was at mile 614 miles of the entire Appalachian Trail, and I hadn't seen a bear yet. And I had gone all the way through the Smokies at that point, still hadn't seen a bear. And other hikers around me had seen them, and I was like, no, I haven't seen one yet. I mean, I had that one encounter at night, but I never technically saw it because I never got out of my tent. This one day, mile 614, I was walking up and over like this hill, and then there was 4 bears. I'm not kidding you, man. 4 bears. It was like a giant mama bear and then 3 like juveniles. I didn't get any video of the bears just because I kind of walked up on them and it happened so fast. I couldn't pull my camera out in time, but I did record a quick video of myself after it happened. So here's that. All right, guys, good news. Just had my first bear sightings. There was 4 bears. I just saw 4 fucking bears, dude. Oh my gosh. My heart's still pounding. I mean, it's you know, it's been a minute. What is it, 620 something miles, man? I haven't seen one. I just saw fucking 4 of them. I think it was a mother and 3 juveniles, or it could have been 4 juveniles. I'm not sure. I didn't really get a good look at the mother. Definitely got a good look at the 3 smaller bears. They weren't like little baby cubs, so I'm thinking it was probably juveniles. But the big one, when it saw me, it took off. So I didn't get a real good look at the full size. I just saw it's like, you know, ass end kind of running. But the 3 kind of ran and paused, and one kind of paused near a tree. But trying to keep moving a little bit because it just happened, like literally a couple minutes ago. And you know, it was pretty cool, man. It's pretty wild. It really startled me, but I just stopped. I just backed up because the little ones weren't moving, man. They were just like, what the fuck is that? And I just backed up, didn't turn around, didn't like turn my back on them. And then they realized I wasn't moving. I wasn't backing up anymore, and they just took off running away from me. These are real bear stories. You know, if you're expecting like a crazy story where I have to fight a bear off, I don't have anything like that. Millions of people see bears every year and have no trouble with them. And that's kind of where a lot of these stories are. But that was definitely an exciting thing to just walk up on 4 bears like that and see them. And I'm thankful that I had experiences like that on the AT. Okay, number 5, this one's also on the Appalachian Trail, mile 892 in Shenandoah National Park near the Pinefield Hut. So I saw a mama bear and her cub, and the mama bear she was kind of off to maybe like a 45-degree angle from the trail, and I kind of had to walk past her to keep continuing down the trail. And I saw her cub was in the tree, maybe like 15 feet up into the tree, but she was standing at the base of that tree and just like glaring at me. And you ever see like a dog and it's not growling at you, but you can tell like, hey, don't mess with that dog right now. He's like, you know, very tense and staring at you. This bear was doing that to me. Some people have said they'll snap their jaws, or they'll be huffing and puffing, or some will swipe the ground. Someone can even like bluff charge you. Well, I don't know. I just had that feeling, and I was like, I'm just gonna like confidently move down the trail and just keep my eyes on her. I quickly turned my GoPro on. It was attached to my hiking pole, and just like walked by. Okay, number 6, also from the Appalachian Trail. This happened at the Wayanda Shelter, and that's in New Jersey at mile like 1362 or something. These are like 2015 northbound miles, so they might have changed now if you're trying to look them up. I was sitting at a picnic table with 3 other thru hikers, and we had just finished hiking for the day, where everybody was kind of eating dinner at this picnic table near the shelter. And a bear, you know, this was New Jersey. There's bears everywhere in New Jersey along the Appalachian Trail. And this bear just like approached us while we were eating. All the smells from everybody cooking dinner had attracted this bear. And I remember he approached us. It was a smaller bear, but he like had his head down and was like sniffing and like approaching the table. And one of the other hikers was like, "Hey bear, go away. You're not invited." And he like ignored us. And I'd never seen a bear do that. And one of the other guys at the table was like, "Oh, what do we do now?" And then I was like, "Hey, let's just all stand up at the same time." So, I mean, he's pretty close. He's probably maybe 30 to 40 feet from us, still kind of like interested in what we're eating and approaching us. So as soon as we stood up, he just completely 180 and ran off. So that was good. I'm glad I was with other people. I don't know how I would have reacted had I been by myself and a bear, you know, hadn't left me alone. That would have been really scary. But yeah, always good to be with other people in the backcountry. Okay, so number 7 happened also on the Appalachian Trail, and this time in the state of Maine. I was in my tent, I was camping by myself, and there was a bear just walking around my camp, and I really wasn't afraid of him. I was kind of more like curious about him and just kind of like almost enjoying listening to him like walk and sniff around the camp. I mean, I was still like cautious of him and listening to him and trying to be on guard and alert that, hey, there's a bear in the camp. That's definitely a hazard. But comparing it to that first night on the Appalachian Trail when I was like, man, I was like really, my heart was like pounding. I was like trembling in my tent and really afraid at that first night when that happened. But it just, you know, going to show you that this happened again later on in the trail. And I was like almost excited that it had happened. And he kind of just came into camp, smelled around, realized that the food was hung properly in the tree and he couldn't get it. And then he moved on. And it was, I kind of felt like fortunate to have that experience. And it was it was really enjoyable. Number 8 also happens on the Appalachian Trail, but this time I wasn't a thru hiker. I was actually working as something called an Appalachian Trail ridge runner. I made a video on what a ridge runner is and what they do. If you want to watch that, I'll plug that one now. Let me see. I have the notes. Where was this exactly? Oh, the Hemlocks. That's right. The Hemlocks shelter, that's in Massachusetts, just over the border from Connecticut. I was sleeping in the shelter. I wouldn't normally sleep in the shelter, but this instance it was raining so much, I was like, I'm just gonna sleep in the shelter tonight. And from this shelter, you could see the bear box. It was pretty far away from the shelter, but enough to where I could see it. And I heard something like rattling the chain of the bear box. So a lot of these boxes are like chained to a tree. Let me first tell you what a bear box is. It's kind of like a converted construction box. If you've ever been to like a construction site, they'll put their tools in these giant metal boxes and lock them up so nobody will steal their tools at the job site. So basically these bear boxes, hikers can go and put their food in them, and that way the bears won't get them while they're sleeping. So they don't have to like hang a bear bag or anything like that. But a lot of these sites in Connecticut and Massachusetts have bear boxes. But yeah, this bear came up to the bear box and it could smell my food in it. And it was like trying to open the bear box, and it had like, I literally just took one hand and just like rolled it over. Like these things are like really heavy, just like completely rolled it over. And then it was like laying on it and like trying to like bite at it. And it probably did this for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then it let out like this big sigh, like a sigh of frustration. And then it left. And I was glad it didn't decide like to come smell me in the shelter. But, you know, definitely don't bring food into the shelter, man. That's what attracts these bears and other, you know, mice and rodents and other pests. So definitely it's very important to follow what they say when to store your food properly in the backcountry. So number 9 is again at Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and I do have some really good footage of this encounter, and this happened like right near the trailhead. I'm talking like I maybe walked for like 5 minutes, and then I saw a mama bear, and I think it was like 2 or maybe even 3 cubs. I think it was 3 cubs. I'll have to look at the video again. I'll play a clip from another video that I had released of that encounter. Number 10, another story from Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This one was, I think it was the Trillium Gap Trail, or it might have been Rainbow Falls as well. But there was this bear, and it was a really small juvenile bear. It was like really interested in people, kind of dangerous bear, most likely. I probably should have reported this to the National Park Service when this happened. But yeah, this guy was like waving a blanket at it. I'll see if I can find that. I think I got that on video. This guy like waving a sheet at this bear. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the best course of action to take if a bear is like approaching you. But yeah, that bear was kind of like following people for a little bit. It never like got more than like 25 or 30 feet from him, but still you could tell that it was really interested in people and probably a dangerous bear, unfortunately. That area, unfortunately, the Rainbow Falls area, Trillium Gap, I think near the Bullhead Trail as well, also just sees a lot of like people in that area. And I think, unfortunately, you get some bad apples in there that feed some of these bears, and that's not good, man. Don't be doing that. Number 11, also from Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This time I'm heading up to the summit of Mount LeConte. This was on the Bullhead Trail. And I was probably a good 2, maybe 3 miles away from the trailhead. And this bear would just kind of not leave me alone. I had yelled at it. I think I have a video of it, actually. At least when I first saw it and yelled at it. And then I think what happened was once it kind of kept approaching me, I turned the video off, which I wish I hadn't have done that. But, you know, recording the video is not something that should be the priority in that situation. Eventually, he lost interest in me, but I had never had a bear do that to where I'm like, hey, bear, go away. And he's just still kind of coming at me. He never got more than like 30 feet from me, but still, it was kind of like concerning. I was glad that I had bear spray on that one. I always tell people, man, if you're going to the Smokies, just bring some bear spray. There's so many bears there. There's a lot of people that will strangely like roll their eyes at that. They'll be like, you don't need that. To me, I'd just rather have it and not need it, especially when I'm in an area that has so many bears. But yeah, I'll try to find that video clip and put it in here. Go on, bear. Lots of bear activity, man. I've only been here for 3 days. I've seen 9 bears. That was bear number 9 in 3 days. That's a lot of bears. No sketchy bears. That was kind of a smaller guy, but he was very curious about me. I actually got the bear spray out. Better safe than sorry. Oh, gorgeous. Good to be back in the Smokies. Okay, so number 12. This is actually my most recent bear encounter, and it happened in Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area. I know it's a mouthful there, but some people just call it Big South Fork. That's in Tennessee, also kind of near Pickett State Park or Pogue Creek Canyon. I made a few videos about this trip up to this area if you want to check them out. I wish I could say this was like a wild experience that I had, but it was just a really common bear story. I saw him, he saw me, we gave each other space, we were a safe distance away from each other. There was nothing crazy. It was just a really peaceful, a perfect bear encounter. Pretty cool, man. There's a bear over there. I'm just giving him plenty of room. Pretty cool, kind of a smaller bear. Yeah, we'll just keep on keeping on. Yeah, that was a good encounter. And I also thought that was important to put in here because it wasn't in the Smokies. This was in, like, I think technically called the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was like the first time I had seen a bear in Tennessee outside of the Smokies. So yeah, I guess just in closing, I just feel really fortunate when I have these encounters, and I just wanted to share them on this channel, put them here. And, you know, anytime somebody asks me about, you know, especially my through hike or one of these other hikes, they always like hearing a good bear story. So maybe now I can just send them this link and be like, here you go. Yeah, there it is. 12 of my bear stories. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.